But let me ask the question about Nas hanging out with the younger guys.
Yes.
Right? We're in those stage right now, right? So
Yeah.
the younger guys, here's my compromise when I hang out with the younger guys, right? Is make sure I don't get old and stale. And I make sure you become an old guy. That's almost like the fair compromise. You see what I mean? Like you make sure I stay fresh, right? And I make sure that you don't make those decisions. So it's the trade-off.
Yeah.
So now you see
That's
like,
dope. That's what it should be.
Well,
right?
I mean, think about it. Think about Allah. At that stage, he's the old guy. He's the real father. He's the father. Has his children.
You know
early
what?
40s,
and
right?
he's hanging with
These
these guys
guys
that keep him young.
The thing about the youth, right? And I was thinking about this today with my youngest daughter. She has so much energy. So there's no like, hey, we achieved something and we did something great. Now, let's bask in this and let's relax a little bit. No, it's on to the next thing. It's always on to the next thing and shit like that. You know what I mean? So how do we keep that kind of energy? That's what the youth give you. You know, they give you kind of energy like what's next, what's possible. Because if you think about it, like when I was just getting the knowledge though, and I was in my 20s though, everything, this whole knowledge itself for me is a run. The whole thing is a run because I got radicalized to militancy, to revolution from Puerto Rico, all of this shit, and everything has been, I'm behind. You know what I'm saying? The music I don't know about, I'm behind. The history I don't know about, I'm behind. I have to find out. So everything, as a youth, you're like running though. No matter what, I'm always behind.
Right.
As we get older, we look back at our achievements. If they are not good enough achievements, then we say, look, it's too late. I didn't do enough and I can't catch up.
But that's what the old
If
guy
we
comes
did,
in.
if we did look back,
yeah.
and say like, let's say in Nas though, we look back, and I feel this way too. I look back and I see that I've achieved many things. It doesn't matter. I still feel the same way.
Right.
I still feel the same way. I still keep running. So I figure like, to me, that's the key to youth. I still keep running.
Well, now
You know, so when people see what I'm writing and all these books that I keep coming out though, when I release the book though, I don't, or the album and stuff, I don't feel like, okay, I finished though. That's it. It's time to.
He's never done.
It's never enough though, and I don't worry about having to keep running. I'm just always in the moment though. Like, well, what can I do now? You know what I'm saying?
And that's like a martial arts thing, though, more like being in the
Right.
moment, right?
Because what I love about how that links to martial arts though, right, is that I was watching that movie on Netflix, Hidden Strike, the new one with John Cena and Jackie Chan. And I wasn't watching it for any of these stupid Fast and Furious car flips over a million times and corny shit that is not really real, but just the way Jackie Chan moves, because no matter what, at 50, 60, 70, I'll be a martial artist, right? Whatever age you're at though. So if you say, oh look, people will look at people and say, oh, he lost a step, he lost this. I'm looking more like, how do I defend myself at 60 years old? How do I defend myself and move optimally at 50 years old? You know what I'm saying? Like, these are things that I think about. So being at a high rate, because I have to train as difficult as it was, as hard as I was at 20, right? To be moderately good at 40. And to me, that's a great achievement. You know what I'm saying?
Well, at 20, I muscled everything.
Right.
In my 40s, it's technique. You ain't got to do all that. You know what I mean? Like, get tighter,
like
move it in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like,
at 20, you muscling, you so anxious.
I'm in my late 40s. I am more athletic than I was now at my 20s in many ways, even though I don't really do flips like I used to.
But it's meant to.
You know what I'm saying? It's different things that I could do, more stamina too, and more quality strength. So it's different. I learned more. I learned how to do shit. I concentrated more when I do stuff. You know, like when you concentrate, like when you're doing shit when you're young, you just.
But think like if you
do this shit.
And we did a heavy workout this morning.
Right.
At night we doing stuff like soft things. You know what I mean? Where we might do something light in the morning and know in the end we really understand time as we get older. When you're younger, you really don't understand time. So
Not at all.
when you started with the whole my daughter
at
runs,
all.
she runs. She said, Mama, we have to eat a snack now. We have to drink something now, right? Because they'll play. They really don't understand structure and things like so. Now this is where the old guy comes in and he's like, "Yo, we're gonna do a break, right? When we break, no, slow down. We got this. That's where the coaches. That's why the players turn coach.
Or channel it though. Because a lot of times at optimal times when my daughter's like really at a peak, I'll be like, okay, we got to do something else, and I funnel it into something more educational. You know what I mean? And I slide that in and everything.
Because daddy's tired. And,
They
tired, but then the thing is that when before you know it, you're gonna be doing daddy-daughter dances, right? And then you can't do all the fast stuff, so now you're doing the ballroom, right? But it's softer, it's more graceful, right? It has more style, like the Chi-Town Steppers. It's more graceful. They ain't doing nothing, they just step, then they turn it.
Right. But it's the soul.
It's smoothness.
You know?
And when the age you learn this, I always tell people, says, when I was coming up, the girls used to say, oh, you a baby, right? They're like 2 years old, you're a baby. Now, when you get older, you become more distinguished. We're not as fast, but we don't lose our strength. And then what happens is that we get more technical. And then, someone like if you take a rapper like that, who's like been around, almost 4 decades now, right? So, this is 4 decades, and then he's about to hit 50s. So this is like majority of his life.
Yeah.
Now he's hanging around guys who are like coming in the game that are really trying to make their own foundation.
20 years younger.
Think about it. He put children through school, through collegiate school with this.
Hundreds of people.
And if you know his personal life, pay child support and things like he's went through real, talk about marriage, talk about separation. He's actually put very vulnerable with himself on the records, right? And I think that's where he buys, he almost like the singers, right? So he's very vulnerable with himself. Right. And then with that, the young guys who will come like, yo, I remember when I heard this, you're like, my man, that was a 2000 this cut. So,
and when you look at, if an MC's a writer or anything like this, if you look at authors though, this is when they hit their peak, the 40s and shit like that. They're not even.
That's why I said it might be time. Like you writing. It might be that time where it's that when you hit the 40s, that's like your last hurrah. Like you know how that 3-inch punch. I'm a hit him. Young buck. We gonna dance.
Well,
I might take it to
everything that I wanted to, every dream or thought that I wanted to write like when I was in my 20s, I write it like that effortlessly now.
It's seasoned.
You know what I mean?
It's seasoned now. You know what I mean? Deaths in your family, financial hardships.
If I look back though, that's thousands and thousands of pages though. You know what I mean?
So, but then how do you?
Thousands of pages, thousands of hours.
Right. Yeah. Because like I said, like the journals, like
Please.
71. So I got 71 of those journals. Just the journals. I'm into about articles I threw away, shit like that. So that's 70 journals times 200. That's.
If Mecca did this.